and like to welcome everybody to the Zone ICA meeting for July, our very first one of this Rotary year. And would like to also recognize Director Eakes, who is with us this evening. Patrick, if you give everybody a wave. And we'll give Patrick, if he's a good boy through the presentation, we'll give him a couple of minutes at the end to say a couple of words. So y'all agree with that?
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But again, we're excited that you all are here with us this evening. And we also have Joe Roth. Joe, I saw you signed in somewhere along the way. There you are, from Zone 34. And we do share great camaraderie with Zone 34. We share a lot of best practices between the two zones. And Joe comes here to learn, and we go to him to learn as well. So again, welcome everybody, and we're going to kick this thing off. Just a couple of quick points that Sean has asked me to make on his behalf. And I'll just I'm going to share my screen here real quick and share the worksheet with everybody. Most of you are familiar with the worksheet. There's a couple of columns on here I just want to call out to your attention. This first column is column B, okay, column B. And this is any unfinished business from last year's spreadsheet has been transferred over to this year's spreadsheet. So in other words, any clubs that were in process as of June 30th of last year theoretically should still be in process as of July 1 of this year. Hopefully they didn't just magically disappear as the time goes along. So if you have transferred your business, please check off in this column that you have done so. And if you have not yet done so, please get that done as quickly as possible so we can get this box, all these boxes here filled up and get that column off of the spreadsheet. Don't forget also to make sure that you've entered your goals for this year for 24-25. And once you've entered your goals in the spreadsheet, get the box checked off indicating that you have done so. And of course, as we get close to July 20th, some of you think we're already close to July 20th and you've already got your updates checked for July. Just make sure that those are in fact really true and the numbers haven't changed between July 2nd and July 20th. So any questions on the information that we're looking for you to fill out on the spreadsheet?
Not necessarily a question, but for those of us that are half blind apparently now in our mid-40s, can you make it bigger so we can see it?
Is that big enough for you? Okay, I'm not going to leave it up here.
Thank you. I mean,
I
it's
won't
just one
leave
of
it.
those, it's like, I can't see what it says. I'm so sad. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Okay. Here, I can make it even bigger for you, Amelia, just in case you need it that big.
That looks great.
Yeah.
And the way you make everybody can see it, right, Joy? Because I'm like, okay, I can't be the only one that can't read this being so small. I'll just speak up.
And on your end, you just simply click on this little box up here. And right now I've got it at 150%. So when you have the spreadsheet open on your own desktop. So I'm going to stop sharing on that. And let me go back to my agenda here so I make sure I cover everything. I do want to introduce the cadre of zone leaders that are going to be assisting Sean this year. And I'm just going to pick on you as I go around the screen and see you. So Ken Fleeson, if you'd raise your hand for everybody. And Ken, why don't you unmute and talk about the districts that you're covering.
Chris?
We can hear you.
You okay now?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'll be covering the districts of 7305, 7620, and 7770. And I've already had a very pleasant conversation with Heather, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. Next on my screen is Renee. So, Renee, if you want to say hi and your districts.
Hello, I'm Renee, and I will be working with District 7600, 7680, and 7690. You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
All right, good deal. Let me look on my screen here and see who else I see. Al DeLucia.
Thanks, Chris. Good evening, everybody. My name's Al DeLucia. I am from District 7305, but I'm going to be working with and hopefully helping District 7280, district directly north of us, and District 7545, West Virginia, directly south of us, and looking forward to working together. Ken Fleeson and I have been working together for a while now on membership, and we'll continue that.
Great. Thank you so much. And Mike Walker, are you on the call? If you are, I didn't see you. I haven't seen Patrick yet. And Sean, I'll just mention, Sean will be covering District 7570, 7730, and 7750. So thanks everybody for being here and sharing. And for the zone leaders, if some of you wouldn't mind, just if you see some highlights that happened in tonight's meeting, make some notes about that so we can update Sean when he comes back. The reason Sean isn't here this evening is he is off playing for the symphony. For those of you that don't know, he plays trumpet, and he's having a great time tonight. So he's sorry to miss this meeting, but you know, music called and he was off to that. All right, so the recap of our last call, and you can always go back and view the recordings of the past calls. They are now up on the Rotary Zones 3334 TV YouTube channel, so you can get to them there. Terry Weaver, you're on the call, aren't you? Terry, I think I saw you. Yes. Yep. Terry, have they been also posted up on the Zone website?
Which ones are those?
This is the past ICA calls.
Past ICA calls. I can't say for sure. Sean posts those in a DAC folder. I could look.
Okay. But they're for sure up on the YouTube channel for Zones 3334. And I don't want to go into a lot of detail on, you know, the last couple of calls, but just a couple of highlights for you to share. Actually, I don't have any highlights to share with you. We didn't make any notes about that, so we'll just move on. All right. So our Rotary year transition, we want to be mindful of where we are in relation to not only last year, but also this new year. And we want to create a new mechanism to have each district be more successful with all of that. So to assist our districts, we just talked about who's going to be leading each area. And so the topic of discussion here for this evening that we're going to kick off with is a couple of questions relative to this year. First of all, how do we introduce the concept of creating innovative pathways into Rotary? This is an open question for the group. So if you have ideas, just kind of, if you wouldn't mind, click on your raise hand from the bottom of the bar under the reaction tab, and I'll call on you and we can talk about this. So how do we introduce the concept of creating innovative pathways into Rotary? And this is introducing the concept to our clubs. Heather, go ahead.
Hi, Chris. I think it's always good to begin with a question when you're talking with a club. You know, do you consider your club innovative? Are you using fresh strategies to attract and recruit new members? You know, find out what their mindset is and how you can best serve them, and open that. You want it to be a two-way dialogue on how you can put fresh strategies into their club, right? Instead of just us telling them what they need to do to make it better.
Great point, Heather. And I think it's always valuable to lead off with questions and get people engaged in the conversation right away. So thank you. Rich, you have your hand up.
So I think it comes down to a one-size-fits-one approach instead of a one-size-fits-all. Getting in front of clubs, physically being at their clubs, bonding with that area governor, assistant governor, working with the district staff, inspiring the district staff, trying different ways, verbal communication, in person, certainly, written communication. Again, it comes back to one size fits one approach. And, you know, we take what we can get. Tomorrow, you know, I'm doing a virtual meeting with a California Rotary Club. They've asked me to give my keynote speech, which is one size fits one. So innovative capabilities within Rotary clubs. Again, whatever we can do. But when we do this, though, ask the question, what are the barriers to membership? Why not more? Why do we continue to lose more members than we gain? Again, what are the barriers? Why is the average club not 60 instead of about 34? That's where I come from.
Thanks, Rich. Chris, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think you know, just from a practical standpoint, the training coming up to make sure that Innovative Clubs has a segment. You know, at least in 7690, we have a August membership summit. I know we're going to have you know, a sizable section in membership summit for Innovative Clubs. The other thing, I think ICAs need to be reaching out now to get on club calendars. You know, one of the strategies that I'm specifically using is to say, you know, to clubs, look, if you're hearing it, you know, stuff at your board meetings, and you know, if you're hearing rumblings that you know, there's barriers to innovation in your club, you know, let us get in front of the club, or let us get in front of the board, and you know, have those discussions. I was invited to one of our larger clubs to you know, have a very candid conversation about Innovative Clubs, and you know, because at least here, and I don't know how it is for everyone else, but here, our larger clubs have had the bigger barriers to, you know, starting innovative models. In this particular club, now has two endeavors, one that's launched and one that's in process. So, you know, getting in front of them and having those conversations is important. But, you know, the action step is to now, you know, say, hey, let me get in front of the board. Let me get in front of the club. You know, membership month is going to be the almost it. It's a great time, you know, to come and be able to give an Innovative Club talk to general membership. So, you know, those are the strategies that we've been employing here at 70, and I think they're largely successful.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Anybody have any questions for Chris on some of the points that he made? Because he made several throughout his dialogue. I know I wrote down two that I wanted to bring up. Okay, so let me ask at least one that I have is, if you were to guess how many clubs in your district, and you guys can type in the chat here your answers, but how many clubs in your district are aware that there is even innovation models available, or that we're even looking at trying to create innovative opportunities? Or let me ask the question in a different way. How many conversations have you had with clubs in your district where this whole innovative thing was a big surprise to them? And we can have 0, Chris? Good. And Chris, you brought up another point that I wanted to talk about just briefly. So how can you get engaged in your district's membership summit? What are some strategies that you can do to get involved in the membership summit to introduce the concept of innovation in your district?
Yeah, I think, you know, and again, I know districts are structured differently. Here, the ICA position is, you know, an interactive part of the membership committee. You know, John Spillman and I, you know, really kind of work hand in hand. I know I have a seat at all the, you know, on all the planning meetings for anything membership related. You know, so hopefully that model is being followed in other districts. You know, but for example, you know, for us, I mean, I'm involved heavily in the planning. So, I'm going to make dang sure that Innovative Clubs, gets its fair shake at Membership Summit.
Thanks, Chris. Al, your hand's up.
Yes, thanks, Chris. I think one way to have the Innovative Club platform and the innovative pathways to membership introduced is working with the district governor to district governor line. Now that the district governors are planning their visits, having when the district governor sits down with the board, ultimately one of the things they talk about and say is, the district is here to help you as a club. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. Tell me how we can help you. And inevitably, one of the things that they say is we need help with membership. Well, the Innovative Club pathway, the innovative membership pathway, is a very tangible tool that the district governor can introduce, if they don't already know about it, can introduce to the clubs, and then hopefully introduce the Innovative Club advocate in that district of this is the person that you need to be talking to, or this is the team that you need to be talking to learn more about innovative clubs, innovative pathways to membership, and have them come out and speak to your club. That's what has been successful for us in 7305. And I think the other thing is that not only having the district governor talk about it, but when innovative clubs and innovative pathways and membership are discussed, you have to discuss the success, the success that these platforms are having in growing and adding new clubs, growing membership and retaining membership.
Great points, Al. Thank you for sharing. It's really interesting to me that, some of the responses that I was seeing here in the chat, 25 to 35%, about 50%, 25%, 35 of 39 clubs, which is awesome. 50 to 75%. How do we get to 100%? How do we get all of our clubs being aware that, innovation is a pathway to growth for our clubs? How do we get every club to be aware of that? And Marge, if you've got your hand up to answer that question, great. If not, we'll come back.
That wasn't what I was going to answer.
Okay. Give me. Well, go ahead, Marge.
My raised hand was for what we're doing for a membership summit with ICA. I think you asked.
Yep.
So we have the District 7710 Districts Summit on August 17th, which we are actually renaming as the Magic of Membership. And we are very fortunate. We have Patrick Eakes, who's going to be there. We have, and others, but we also, from an ICA perspective, Sean Sawyer and hopefully Mike Walker are also going to be with us on that to promote that. We have a new ICA, I think she's on here somewhere, Camille Hedrick, who I think is going to be wonderful as our ICA representative. So we're taking it very seriously. But we're just getting started. I'm new, Camille's new to this, but I think we've got some good things in place to get it going. But that's why I raised my hand.
Thank you, Marge. All good points. And, again, I'll come back to my other question, which is how do we make sure that 100% of our clubs are aware that there's innovative opportunities out there? And how do we get that message out? Chris, you mentioned that you're at the table for all upcoming meetings that are relevant to membership. Do you have a flyer? Do you have a way of getting that information out to folks?
Sorry, Chris. Okay, so yeah, a flyer. I don't know. There's not like a one pager or anything like that, but we hold just like the zone holds monthly membership meetings. We hold monthly membership meetings at the district level as well. We have our membership chair writes membership bulletin where there's something mentioned about innovative clubs, just about all the time. In terms of the promotions for membership summit, or or we get other point I wanted to make, sorry, I may have to come back to it, but the bottom line is that it's a constant drumbeat, around our district. Any opportunity that we get, to speak to clubs, so it's just always integrated in every part of our membership messaging, and I think it's been effective. One of the things that we've offered to clubs is to actually prepare their Discover Rotary slide decks, and that's something that we've tackled as a membership team. And as part of that process and part of that promotion, I've developed a handful of slide decks that are specific to the impact model, and the more traditional satellite clubs. And so, we regularly have clubs that reach out and want to see those slide decks, which, we gladly provide. And the other thing that we should have up in the next month or so, we're going to have a membership toolbox on our district website that's specific for club use. I mean, it's not an outward-facing toolbox for the public, but it's for our clubs to use. Which will have like those Discover Rotary, and specifically Innovative Club Discover Rotary decks, on like just readily accessible whenever they need.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate the feedback. We've got a couple of hands up here too, so let me call on Ken.
Chris, just kind of repeat a couple of things. It has to be a team effort, I think. Getting the DG line on board is key, because they're the ones that are going to be doing their club visits, and they're going to have interaction on a regular basis with the clubs. The other thing is getting your DMC in the loop. I think the ICAs need to be working with their DMCs. It has to be a two-pronged approach. When the DMCs go into a club that is asking for help, they need to be promoting innovative clubs. But I think Chris's point also with the ADs, they need to be on board. So it needs to be a team effort, and passing the information back to the ICAs so they can go in and do their presentations.
Great points, Ken. And, the ICA being a part of the district membership team, I think is critical. Patrick Eeks put a comment in the chat here saying, hopefully they're involved with the club extension or new club formations that are in the district. There's another key point to bring up. So yeah, all good stuff. Thank you. And Rich, you had your hand up, and then we'll come to Joe.
So the last 12 months in District 7600, we've gone from here to here. How? I give a lot of credit to our recent district governor, Rudy Garcia, for that. So fast backwards, before Rudy took office as district governor in July of last year, that pre-pets, the pets, the district training assemblies in the spring of 2023, immediately beginning that year, he really got the full attention of the president-elects, and he drilled it in. Innovation, membership, innovative club, satellite companion, innovative member types. And when he took over as district governor a year ago, he kept the train rolling. He became cheerleader number 2. It was a beautiful thing. And thankfully, my sister Joy Klein, who's on this call, has the same fabric. So our train is rolling. And in fact, I got to read you something. 3 months ago, Jeff Wells, club president, Norfolk, Rotary, the largest club in the district, says, Rich, I am going to form a companion club. We're going to do it. But you got to let me start it after the club, after I finish my year as president. Jeff Wells, Norfolk, sends me an email yesterday, July 1st. Rich, with my year as president coming to an end tomorrow, I'm now prepared to start a satellite or companion club and would like your assistance to put this into action. Would you be available to speak on this sometime this week? Question mark. Yes. So it is working. It's just we just got to get the enthusiasm level up, and we just gotta repeat it. We have to do cartwheels. We're doing cartwheels. Okay. Thanks for listening. I'll stop talking.
Thanks, Rich. So
Chris, can I jump in behind Rich since we're part of the same team?
Absolutely, Joy. Go ahead.
So I was actually at an installation today, and what I think Rich references is when you don't even have to say something about membership, but the members are coming to you now and asking those questions about, I want to. So I think that piece that Rich is referencing with Rudy and what he's been doing, you know, the momentum, the hamster wheel is moving forward, and this is just going to provide an opportunity for us to really do some things very magical, I think, for this year for 7600, and it's as a part of that continuity, right? So we've been working on it, and we can continue to propel it forward.
So a key point that I think I'm hearing is that having district governor support and leading the charge from the governor-elect to the governor, and maybe even the governor nominee, and even the immediate past governor, cheering everything on around innovation is key to success. Does that sound about right?
I'll take it.
Okay, excellent. I see a couple of hands up, but Joe, you had your hand up a while back and it's not up anymore. Do you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, just wanted to share an idea that we used last year. We're going to continue this year. I think that the membership message as a whole has to be consistent and constant. So I have one of my team members create on Canva a visual, which we send out via email every single Monday. It's called Monday Motivational, Monday Membership Motivational, or Motivational Monday Membership. It's triple M. And so every single Monday that goes out to the entire district, and 60 to 70% of the people open it up and read it. And so the message is consistent. So there'll be 52 of those messages. Every couple of 3 or 4 of them could be something about innovation on how to create new clubs. But the key to these are, the fact is that there's not a lot of verbiage. It's more of a visual, and the message is in the visual. And so that might be something that other districts might want to, take a shot at. Certainly, they can contact me for help on that, and I can share some of the things that we've used over the past year. So just the message is consistent, and they know it's coming on Monday morning.
Great point, Joe. And if for everybody else in this call, if you're not subscribed to looking at Joe's membership message in 6990, I would encourage you to go to 6990 and look at Joe's membership message that he does on Facebook on almost a daily basis. Is that right, Joe?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So there's that consistent and constancy that you're talking about. In the marketing world, we call it frequency and recency. So, key points there. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Eric, your hand's up.
Yeah, I guess technically I can drop the D on my DGN. I recently had a couple of conversations with some folks that made me think about one of the things we might want to consider providing not just AGs, but club presidents and maybe even district governors, but through that line, bullet points, if you will, talking points of how do you deal with the inevitable pushback that you're going to get from some club members about these new Rotarian memberships and clubs and so forth. You're going to get that resistance. Change automatically causes that. Just saying it's what we need to do doesn't necessarily address that.
Great point, Eric. And Patrick Longano has his hand up, and Patrick is incredible at answering that very question. So Patrick, I'm not sure why you had your hand up, but if you could address that and then ask your question or make your comment, that would be great. And Patrick, you're muted, just so you know.
Y'all were quicker than me on that. Best piece of advice I can give is momentum. Momentum is there. You've got to get it. I was down in Joe Roth's neck of the woods down at 6980's district conference. and it was electric. The growth, the two top clubs down there who started companion clubs, they got big club of the year and medium club of the year. And it was now all of a sudden, everybody wants to do it. So momentum, you got to build it, and you have to create a sense of urgency. And what I mean by that is know your Rotary year. After November 15th, you're not doing anything until January 1st if you're creating clubs. They ain't got time for you after November 15th. So you need to be planning right now, and for clubs to do something in August, and you need to be planning right now for clubs to be able to do stuff in September and October. So just know that. So when you're creating that sense of urgency, when you're talking to them, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm going to do this. That's what you get all the time. So you really want to let them know that they want a 2 booster. They want to establish something at the beginning of the year and then get an extra kick on January 7th or 8th when it starts to pick back up again after everybody gets back in from the break. So sense of urgency and momentum are key to this entire thing. Because everybody's going to give you an excuse of why they have to kick the can down the road. So the other question was from Eric. What was the exact question? I apologize.
It was not so much a question as much as the providing the tools, bullet points, talking points,
yep,
that can go to the clubs of how do they deal with the inevitable pushback that they're going to get from some club members about these new models of membership clubs and so forth.
It's just handling objections, you have that. I have actually a copy, a tape to the bottom of my computer of the top 5 objections that come with any of these clubs. And number 1, can anybody guess what number 1 is? Anybody? Just guess.
I'm too busy.
No, money. It all comes down to money, guys. We'd have 1,500, 2,000 of these bad boys if it didn't come down to money every single time. Is it going to cannibalize the home club? Is number 3. You know what I mean? So these are the objections that we can help you with these. Your membership chair, anybody that you've got doing this, your ICAs, anybody that's doing this, we can help you overcome the objections and get to helping them create a sense of urgency to get this stuff done. Al's great at it. Al overcomes objections every day. He avoids my phone call. I'm teasing. Al's the greatest guy in the world. But you ever watch Al talk to people about this and they go, but what about this? And he answers it and then he moves on. And he answers it and then moves on. And that's all it is overcoming the objections, taking the scared part away, because they're all scared about doing it. So you just got to take that away from them, take the stress off, and answer the objections that they raise and keep moving forward. So Eric, I like to say that it's easy. You just have to work with it. I'd be more than happy to help your membership chair, you in this, anything you need to.
Eric, what district are you in?
7750.
7750. So that's a district that Sean is covering. So, and Sean is also really good with overcoming these objections. So anybody on this team will help you with that. And you're right, probably need to document and put it in a toolbox. Chris Justice was talking about, I think it was Chris, was talking about putting together a membership toolbox, putting it up on the district website, not public facing, and making that available. So again, some best practices that we can all share from.
That would be good.
Patrick, did you have another point that you wanted to bring up?
No. Momentum.
Momentum.
I'll leave you with that.
So let me slow down here just a little bit because I don't have no sense of urgency on anything we're doing here right now. Just kidding. Let's move on to Hugh.
Thank you, Chris. We're putting out all of these new membership types and club types, but something that we've got to think about when it comes to the ICA clubs is also keeping them involved and retaining them and educating them about Rotary. if we go back and look over the past year, we lost members in the companion club group, just as we've lost members in what we might call legacy. So we've got to build into this process more of what I might call Rotary 101 occasionally, or things like that, to bring all of us together and say, I'm a Rotarian, I'm going to be a Rotarian, and I'm going to make an impact in my community, type of thing. And as Chris was saying, and that's why I took my hand down earlier, we have to just keep saying it. We have to keep saying it. We have to provide opportunities. We have to be, I don't like the word salesman for it, but we have to be proponents. We have to make sure that our leadership team is embracing it, and that we share.
Great points. Thank you, Hugh. Appreciate that. I'm going to share real quick with you all one of my favorite Paul Harris quotes, and it's one of the areas that I try to remember and live by. So take a look at this for a second. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Perfect. You know, if Rotary is to realize its proper destiny, it must be evolutionary at all times and revolutionary on occasions. And he said this in 1935. And I think it's as relevant today as it was back when he said it in 1935. And think about this. You know, we have a lot of Rotary members out there that like things just the way they are. They don't want to see change. But Paul Harris was encouraging us in 1935 to always be evolutionary. And on occasion, we have to be revolutionary to get our point across. So keep that in mind, that our founder wants us to continue to evolve and continue to meet our members where they are now and where they're going to be in the future. And that means that we have to constantly be changing the way that we're doing things, or we'll end up going the way of Kodak. Nobody wants to go the way of Kodak. So did I see somebody else's hand go up a minute ago and I missed it? Because if I did, I apologize. Who's got roadblocks? You know, the things that are getting in their way of creating innovative clubs, innovative membership pathways. Any roadblocks out there? You know, Eric mentioned that it would be great to have a document to reference roadblocks and so forth. Chris? You're muted, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, phone was not cooperating. I am really glad you brought this up, because that, you know, I think a lot of times, you know, these meetings and discussions can be a bit too kumbaya. So, I mean, it's good to talk about the challenges and the roadblocks. You know, I think especially in our district, we are seeing, you know, because we were one of the early adopters of some of the innovative club models, you know, we're seeing failures. And, you know, the failures, I think, can be easily diagnosed, but at the end of the day, you know, other clubs are not blind to the failures, and, you know, they see them happening around them. So I think one of the roadblocks that we have to overcome, you know, is to be able to, number one, diagnose and explain to clubs why, you know, some of their colleagues have failed with innovative clubs. And, you know, and the other piece, you know, that I don't think, and I'm speaking for my own district, you know, that I don't think we've done a great job on, is supporting the innovative club models once they've been launched. You know, because, yeah, I mean, it's great to get them started, but if they fold, you know, it doesn't look good for the evolution of innovative clubs. You know, and a lot of, I've heard it cited from clubs saying, hey, you know, we saw so-and-so fail, so, you know, our board really is not excited about doing this. So for me, I think that is the biggest roadblock to overcome, you know, here in 24, 25.
Thanks, Chris. So fail early, fail often. because the more failures you get, the closer to success you're getting. How many times did and I just lost his name, the gentleman that invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison, how many times did he invent the light bulb before you got the one that finally worked, right? So thank you, Chris. Other points? Rich, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, one of the roadblocks, and I was reviewing the list of clubs that I think are going to go quickly this year, and two of the clubs have carryover presidents. The concept of a different president every single year can be a bit of a roadblock. I find encouraging to hear over the last couple of years seems to be more and more carryover presidents willing to do that role for 2 years. I think that continuity can increase our chances of forming new clubs. So anytime I hear so and so is gonna do a second year, it's like, yes. Anyway, that's one of the roadblocks that I see.
Thanks, Rich. Ken, your hand's up.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact opposite of Rich. Sometimes you get into a club that has a president that wants to keep everything status quo. And I think what you have to do is you need to be looking at the chain of command and who's going to be coming in next and start working with them now to introduce this idea of innovative clubs.
Thanks, Ken. And Al, your hand's up.
Yeah, I was going to just say exactly what Ken just said, but also, one of the biggest challenges is the fear that members are going to be cannibalized, that companion club is somehow going to take members away from the existing club, and that then not only will they take members away from the existing club, but new potential members won't join the traditional or legacy club because they want to join a club where they don't have to attend meetings. And we found that that's not true either. So, the obstacles of you're going to take members away from my club that are already existing and then take away potential new members is, we find, one of the biggest obstacles to overcome.
And Al, let's talk specifics, because your club is a prime example of this. So you inducted how many new members into your Impact Club?
15.
15. And how many people did you almost simultaneously induct into the Legacy Club?
5.
And how many people from the Legacy Club moved to the Impact Club?
0.
Hear those numbers, folks? We're not cannibalizing anything. We're creating new opportunity. And I got to tell you, and Al, you said this to me and Patrick when we came up for that the induction ceremony of the new club, is the energy that gets generated around creating these new innovative clubs creates energy around membership in Rotary. And you're going to find a whole bunch of people that have interest in Rotary, and the innovative club may not be the answer for them, and the Legacy Club may be the perfect solution for them, right?
Right. I mean, the 5 members that we had join our club really came from us because of the Innovative Club, because they saw what we were doing. They liked the idea of the service the Innovative Club was doing. They came to one of our traditional club member meetings to find out more, and then they liked our traditional club meetings so much they joined the traditional club.
And Al, just in case not everybody on this call is aware, do you have a special member in your club who happens to be serving in a particular role this year?
I do have a very I do. Yes, we are honored, excited, and privileged to have Rotary International President Stephanie Urchik as a member of our club.
So there you go, folks. The president of Rotary International was in the club that started an Impact Club, started one of these companion clubs.
Right.
So if it works for her, it can work for anybody, right? Thanks. Appreciate that, Al.
Sure.
Ken, your hand's up.
And the other thing too that I always tell clubs that complain or bring up the thing about cannibalizing I say if somebody's is leaving your club to go to the new club, more than likely they were going to be leaving your club at some day anyhow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Patrick's going to talk about that because how many members just got saved in, was it Lake Mary?
Yep. Lake Mary Club was in the process of doing their forming their companion club, and on the 29th they got notified that they were losing 7 members, and talked to them about the new opportunity, and they saved all 7 members. So it's not just, you know, growth, it's helping with you know, the attrition, but the thing that's important is to give people options. A lot of you know that I was in the car business, and just a quick anecdote. I bought a little C-Class Mercedes, and I had it up on the front line, and gorgeous, no problems with it. Nobody cracked the door on it. Everybody's like, well, you shouldn't have bought that one. At the next auction, I bought the same car, just a different color, and I put it up on the front line next to it. And within a week, they've both gone. When you're talking with people in the club or about joining your club, if you give them options, they will choose one. If you only have one, they will search out other options. If you give them options and say, this is how you can serve the community and serve our club and, you know, and Rotary, and this is one way, here's a second way, here's a third way, which do you think would fit you best? They will pick one. So Al and them gave their clubs a choice, their people a choice. And after being presented with the choice, 15 chose the companion and 5 chose the other one. And so give your folks a choice.
Thanks, Patrick. Did you have your hand up for something else? Or are you going to respond to that one?
That's what I was just responding to. Sorry.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Patrick. Folks, we have been talking for quite some time here, but I want to now introduce our director, Patrick Eakes, and have him give us some closing words before I go over some closing announcements. Patrick?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And first off, I want to say I'm thrilled for an evening on July 2nd. I mean, this is a huge holiday week, lots going on. I'm thrilled to see 30 plus people on this call. So that tells me that you're engaged, you're interested, and I appreciate that very much. It occurs to me that Rotary Foundation is for most of our districts and probably most of our clubs it's completely institutionalized. It's part of being a Rotarian, supporting the Rotary Foundation, and that part of what we're trying to do here is to create the same kind of SOP when it comes to membership. Just as Rotary Foundation supports international service, membership is a part of club service. At least that's the way I see it, is that we know we're going to lose members. We always want to have a replenishment. We want to have new ideas. We want to add diversity to our clubs. And this is a great opportunity to do that. So I hope you've been listening to the many good ideas I've heard tonight. I hope you recognize the opportunity, since 99% of our clubs have new leadership every year. They need to understand this is a priority. And for those of you who are governors, or you're going to be a governor in these next couple of years, I see a few of you smiling. You're like, what? I'm a governor? Recognize that what you make important is going to be important to your clubs. When you make it a priority, when you emphasize it, trust me, they're going to get it. They may have varying degrees of success, but they're going to put more effort into it when they're hearing from the governor, when they're hearing from the future governors, when they're hearing from the membership chair, when they're hearing from the district ICA. So I want to encourage you to keep the energy up, the enthusiasm up, and to keep the innovation up, the messaging up. It's incredibly important. I am 100% sure that we will not have the kind of membership success that we want to have unless we are successful in this area. We have to be successful in the traditional areas that RC Terry and his team work on, but we have to be successful in both of these. So I'll finish where I started, which is to thank you all for being here, for being engaged, and for getting going on this right away this year.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for your kind words, your good words, your inspirational words. We really appreciate it. So,
one more thing, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Our friend Kevin Kendrick is on here, and without getting into details, some of you know that his wife has had some really serious medical challenges lately. Kevin is joining us from the hospital. That's how committed he is to this effort. So, Kevin, we offer you our love, our prayers, our thoughts, our good wishes to you and Jenny, and we're looking forward to hearing more reports going in the right direction.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick. And Kevin, yes, absolutely. Everything that Patrick just said, no need to continue to repeat it. So a couple of important dates for you all to put in your calendars just to make sure you have it. Next Monday evening, July 8th at 5:30, which is a new time, is our membership action plan meeting. And the title of that meeting is Kickstart Your Year, Drive Membership Growth. So again, new time, instead of starting at 6 p.m., it'll be starting at 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Our Zoom formation call is usually the first Monday, but this month it's actually not until July 8th, and that'll be at 1 p.m. The Zone 33 monthly District Governor DMC meeting, which is the third Monday, July 15th at 5 p.m. And our next ICA call is Tuesday, August 6th at 5 p.m. And of course, July 20th is the cutoff date for making sure that all your numbers are into the spreadsheet. We do need to report those numbers. Patrick, if you wouldn't mind, Patrick Eakes, if you wouldn't mind, just take a moment and let everybody here on the call know, what do you do with those numbers?
The numbers that are reported in?
Yes.
Well, hopefully I go brag to the other directors in North America. That's the idea. For a lot of the time, that's what Peter Kyle and Stephanie and Jeremy have been able to do. But yes, you better believe that membership is front and center in every single board meeting. I've watched 3 from the kids table, and I've gotten to participate in 1 at the real table now. And you better believe this is front and center. Not only that, now the North American directors are starting to meet with Rotary International Director of Membership Brian King on a regular basis on our own on Zoom. So we are comparing notes. We're competitive as hell, and you better believe we're talking about this.
Thank you, Patrick. So team, it's 5:54. We're going to end up our call 6 minutes early this evening so you can get off to your dinner and drinks. We do appreciate you being here on a holiday week, and wish you all a great July 4th holiday.